Hello and welcome. This is an update for the September sessions. September sessions are the fourth weekend this month instead of the third due to scheduling. So remember, it's going to be the fourth weekend for both Berkeley and Palo Alto. So what's important to know is that what I'm going to tell you here can be affected during this September session. So that's something to think about. We will be running battles, and your time jumps can affect what's going to happen. So based on what happened on some of the last sessions we had of last season in the summer, and some estimations and rolls that we did for the entire area of Teriock, I'm going to tell you some things that will likely happen unless things are done. Okay? So first and foremost, it's important to know that 60 years is going to transpire. Hobbits, humans, and centaurs. You are all going to be very old people, or you are going to be deceased, dead. So because 60 years will go by. So this is your last hurrah, your last chance to do something. Some main things that you need to know is that Elder Sorcery seems like there's going to be some kind of world effect in Roacron and Teriock. It's going to majorly affect Elder Sorcery. It may be that you won't be able to cast any Elder Sorcery at all, or it may be really decreased. It really depends on what happens or maybe doesn't happen during these September sessions. So this is a chance for you to try to affect that. So you could try to do something about that during your time jump intentions. The other major thing that's going to be happening is there looks like there's some kind of turmoil happening here in the inner sea. You could try to do something about that. The Pearless's power, Shawl power, really decreased. Telepelic, really decreased. Kai looks like it's going to be coming in here and having settlements. The Sarags here look like there's going to be a renaissance in the Sarag culture. Menica, or the Fraints that live here, the Mantis Fraints, have increased in power and military ability. Somehow they have some control over the Nile Sea Isles, likely due to the fact that they got a red Fraint and were able to breed over this time jump. However, the Nile Sea Isles, the Kepler Fraints, did not. And the Kepler Fraints are the main military force of the Nile Sea Isles. So their ability has decreased. Korsai is going to go under a political upheaval of some kind. Most likely, their whole political system is going to turn on its head. Calorinde and Dragon Summit have kind of risen as a more of a big power in the area. They're one of the only places that you can go now to get mage training. So that's important. Oni is also a very large mage power now as well. The Shadow Veil has been pulled back. It is no longer the main shadow enemy that it was before, but they still have not taken Shadow Veil. Further below in the south, Tweechen, due to this Elder Sorcery effect and other things, it seems that you won't be seeing much of them at all. Likely, Tweechen, gone out of Upper Teriock. Okay? Because their main ability was Elder Sorcery. So that's something to think about. Down below, all the way down in the southern missions that we had, which was below Tweechen, those people did get out. But remember, according to my rolls, it wasn't until the last 20 years of that 60-year stint that they get back to Dragon Summit. So all of those Joro characters and those characters for your time jump, you won't really be able to do anything to affect Game World. Those characters won't, because they don't get back till the very end of those 60 years. We'll talk about likely things that they will have. They'll most likely have sailing. They will have Corsair and other levels and whatnot. But we'll talk about that at our time jumps in the fourth weekend of September. So make sure to come. If you are a Joro, though, you will be deceased or really, really old. there were some silver and gold. There were some silver female Joros and some gold Joros. So likely, I think that you will be able to be a Joro in the next season, but you're going to have to roll to see whether you are a silver or a gold. Moving over to Noromas, I'm going to stop at Taikobon down here. So Willandis has become kind of more peaceful. They're working with the dwarves here in Eastway, and they have some work going on here. But like I said, there's huge depression here in the Inner Sea and decrease of power. Strange things are going on with dragons. That's all I can say. Fae doesn't look good. Something is strange going on, unless something happens. Noromas. Noromas was once a peaceful place, right? They had their hospital. They were really super peaceful and really into healing, but they did fight and were fighting against the vampires at the end of the season. That's all going to change. They're going to, it looks right here, it's very clear, they're going to become very extremely militaristic. They're going to be using their music, lots of war drums, lots of their musical magic is going to go into that to fight against the vampires likely. So we'll be running some things here for in the September sessions. The other thing, it looks like something, either the vampires leaving the Blue Mountains, I don't know yet, but something is going to affect Taikobon. It is really, really bad. It looks like Taikobon, its entire culture, will cease to exist. I've never gotten rules this bad before. They will likely be wiped off the map in terms of a culture. Something drastic is going to happen. So unless some people do something to affect that in the September sessions, no more monks. That's like what's going to happen. Also, there will not be communication with Roacron and Teriock because Roacron, if you watched Chris's videos, Roacron is in a depression, most likely, a huge depression. So there won't be any cross-communication going on or any travel between Teriock and Roacron in the new season. Dagdioth is now gaining in power and is coming down. Will be coming down. Other interesting things with the vampires, but I'm not going to delve too much into that. I'll let you know a little bit on my TimeJump postings. So those are some of the things you can do. Good luck. And so just to reiterate, things you can do to affect. You could affect the Inner Sea. You could try to do some things. We'll run some things for the Inner Sea. We will be running lots of things with the Blue Mountains to see what happens with the vampires and what happens to Noromas. And lastly, but not leastly, Taikobon. Will it cease to exist, or will it exist further? and caveat, remember the Elder Sorcery looks like it's going to disappear. Good luck!